Greetings of peace and welcome. My name is Anthea Alexander and I am a coach and healer. I have just returned from a week in Bali, which was magnificent and really was very healing. I learned a lot and about myself and about helping others to heal and to coach them. And I also had a great break. It was the first sort of real holiday that I've been on for 6 years. So I'm super grateful. I'm also very excited to be back and excited about the future. So, welcome to our Friday night conversations. And this has been a regular event for heading on to probably 2 years now. In a few more months, it'll be 2 years. And we've had some stops and starts, but we've hosted many events and many talked about many conversation topics and themes. I am joined this evening by my lovely co-hosts and friends, and they will introduce themselves as we go along. Our topic for this evening is boundaries, but what I would like to add a little bit more in terms of the topic. I'm wanting to add healthy boundaries in relationships. However, if any of my co-hosts are wanting to add anything more to that or change it a bit, that's perfectly fine. That was just my sort of 2 cents worth when I started doing a little bit more research into our topic. So, the purpose of our conversations is really about creating a sacred space online where like minded people can gather to discuss topics of interest, and also it is a safe space. If you would like for the conversation is recorded, however, if you would like for the recording to be paused, just let us know. Or if there's something that you discuss and then you think afterwards, oh, I'm not quite sure if I want to share that with the world, that's perfectly fine. Simply let us know and we can edit out parts of the conversation. So, yeah, a safe, sacred space to discuss pretty much anything as long as it's respectfully. And so we have the conversation live. You can request for the link for the Zoom call, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, so Melbourne time. Or alternatively, you can watch the recording. So we try and cater for everybody's needs as much as possible. And just one more thing is that if you are wanting to suggest topics, feel free to contact one of us and we'd love to hear your suggestions in terms of topics. So I'll just explain a little bit more about myself as well. So I'm a coach and healer, and I have been on a healing journey doing my own inner work for about the past 20 years, quite consistently. And I have a special interest in spiritual healing. I'm interested in all sorts of healing as well, but particularly spiritual healing and also meditation. Meditation is one of the first sort of modalities that I started looking at. I also started looking at dream interpretation. And apart from that, I'm going to hand it over to Rae now, and Rae can introduce herself, tell us a bit about what she is up to, and then we'll pass the baton over to the rest of the co-hosts, and then we'll start our discussion about healthy boundaries in relationships. Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Anthea. Hi, everybody. Love our Friday evening get-togethers. It's always something interesting and new. So I live in far north Queensland, Australia, which up the hill from Cairns, which is the most beautiful place in the world. Fight me, but don't tell anybody. So I have spent most of my life as a registered nurse. And I stopped being a registered nurse in 2019 because I had accidentally taken up pottery as a work-life balance thing and fell in love with clay. So I've left nursing to start a pottery business, which I have continued to do and do to this day. But because of my background, I tend to make pottery for the funeral industry, so cremation urns and angels and things like that, because I'm very comfortable with the whole cycle of life and dealing with people in grief and dealing with people, full stop, really. So I've got a kind of broad experience in everything. Like Anthea, I've got a really deep interest in spiritual things and have had since I was 17. um, yeah, so pursuing that, gosh, with Sanji's help at the moment, so that's been really wonderful. Yeah, so I've got something to say on every topic, really. So I'm full of stories. I just mentioned that when I was nursing, I ended up in the field of education. So I was a nurse educator. So, and I've always used stories to teach. So we'll see what I come up with tonight. I haven't got anything prepared. We'll just go wherever it takes us. Yeah, so we'll see. All right, Georgie, your turn.
Hi everyone. I'm Georgina Fielder and I'm from Mareeba in North Queensland. It's another a lovely place. Not as I like Atherton better. But yeah, I'm originally off a cattle property. Um, a jack of all trades, master of none. But in the last 5 years, I've become a spinal flow practitioner, and yeah, I'm just starting up my own business after a little bit of knockback, like with my health and that, and I've got on track now, working on it, and yeah, just taking one day at a time, and yeah, I have three daughters. Um, Two live in Adelaide and one lives just down the road from me. The oldest one's 36 and the next one's 34, and then I have a 21-year-old. They all the oldest two are married, and the youngest one is she lives with her partner as well. And yeah, that is about it. I'll hand over to Michael.
Hi everyone. Does anyone have a preference? I just don't want to. I want to make sure that we don't forget Connie. But I'm happy to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
no, Michael, please go ahead, Michael, not a problem.
I'll keep it pretty brief and then I'll pass it over to you, Connie. So my
No
name's
problem.
Michael, and I live in the Northern Rivers of northern New South Wales. Um, And in my day job, I work primarily with students of English as a second language in a vocational education setting. So I work primarily with adult migrants who are looking to learn and improve their English. Um, but when I'm not in an educational sort of environment or setting, I'm spending a lot of my free time exploring similar topics to the ones that Georgie, Rae, and Anthea have mentioned. So everything ranging from spirituality to human psychology and interpersonal communication. Um, Tonight's topic, the topic of boundaries, I would say is not a topic that um I I guess feel that I've mastered very well in my own life. So I'm looking forward to sort of learning from tonight's discussion and picking up a few sort of insights and tips from everyone else. So over to you, Connie.
Oh, hello. I'm Connie. I was a registered nurse with Rae for a long time, registered midwife. Then I went into administration for nursing after being a charge nurse. Then I did 2 degrees. So I've always been interested in the spiritual side of things. And boundaries, I think, are a definite must for everybody. So, yeah, that's what I've got to say.
Yeah. So hello everybody. Very nice to see you everyone
Hello.
here. Hello Connie. Uh,
Hello.
yeah, we got to know you're a specialist in boundaries. So it's a great. I am horrible with boundaries, to be honest. Like I was a monk and there were no boundaries, kind of like no. There were like the rules and the regulations, those kind of boundaries. But other thing, you have to just devote your entire life and you have to jump into any problem. So you don't have night and day. It doesn't matter whether you're sick or tired or anything. Maybe other people also definitely as mothers, no parents or like healthcare in the service or like whichever field you do or uh, you have these thing kind of things also, no? But I have to be honest, like so at one time it was like have it all or none at all. So but now I'm back as being civilian, so I'm trying to know about these things. So but still there were boundaries like you don't have to, like you be open to everybody and then but still you have to kind of like protect within the monastery cycle, no? Uh, or keep your like mind straight. No, even if you look into some problem or something. So, but just about me, like I'm Sanjiv. I'm based in Sri Lanka. I'm a meditation teacher. I do mostly like now online uh, practice, practice, and yeah, these days like yeah, it's been like some like exploring beaches and then cooking food and like so yeah, so it's a very interesting topic and there's much to learn here. Because I would like to ask all you like questions like where these boundaries come, how can we implement these things, are the relationships or anything, no, like for that matter. And then how far do we take it? Is it valid? It's like in a way it's like a border, right? You place these borders and then but people should be able to travel. Now we have all these rules, regulations, do this, do that. If you break the rules, like you get locked up. So how do we set this? And there are some boundaries that which you can move a bit, no, or move around. And then sometimes you have to fix some things and which are the walls, which are the shields, are they realistic? No, sometimes we could be delusional, right? And some people have all these crazy boundaries and they are so tied up in that. You're like some people in a session also when you talk to them, it's like talking to a person inside a bunker. They have all these boundaries, so like it's like they're hiding inside a military bunker, no? And they are like, so where is this border and then how is it? Is it legit? And uh, at some point in spirituality, we have to be open to everything, accept everything. There's a thing like that also. But in conceptual or in livelihood, we have to others will be walked over asset, no? Or like people will make a fool of us or like take advantage or whichever can happen, right? So I have all these tons of questions and then I'll hand it over to Anthea, okay?
Okay, thank you, Sanji. Thank you, everybody, for introducing yourselves and for being here this evening, sharing your energy and your time. It's very appreciated. So, with my minimal research that I've done, so we've got healthy relationship boundaries are clear limits that protect your well-being, safety, and space. And some key types include emotional boundaries, time boundaries, and physical boundaries. And having these boundaries can help build trust and stop us from feeling burnt out or angry. And I would also add resentful there, because I know that with there have been times when, if my boundaries have been sort of not respected, I can feel resentful. So common types of boundaries, yeah, we've got emotional, time, physical, material. So in terms of emotional boundaries, we've got here knowing you are not responsible for fixing how other people feel. Time boundaries, it's about protecting your schedule by saying no to things when you are too tired. Physical boundaries, deciding who can touch you and how close they can get to your personal space. That's interesting. And material boundaries, we've got choosing if and when you want to lend your money or things to others. That could even be really time as well, your time and energy, I believe. So it talks about how to set and keep boundaries. So I'll just read a little bit more from this, what I've come up with on online. How to set and keep boundaries. Notice bad feelings. Pay attention when you feel mad or drained, because that means a limit has been crossed. Use clear words. Speak in a calm voice and use I statements, such as I need some quiet time now. Start small. Practice saying no to small requests before moving on to bigger ones, and accepting discomfort. It is normal to feel nervous at first, but it gets easier with practice. Okay, so that's pretty much what it has said. But just from my own point of view, I'm not that great at boundaries either. I grew up with a father who had a brain injury, and being around him, I felt like I had to walk on eggshells, because he was very erratic with his mood. So I'd try and do something to please him, and he'd yell at me. And if I did something maybe a little bit naughty, he might congratulate me or be really proud of me. So I couldn't really predict how he was going to behave. So the reason I mentioned that was that I then developed sort of to be a people pleaser. So I found that the best way to manage my dad and also our family as a whole, the family dynamics, was to keep the peace. So that's what I tried to do, and I tried to please everybody, and became very ingrained in my personality, and it has continued on in my adult years. So as a result, I think that I have allowed people to push the boundaries with me. So rather than asserting them and keeping them firm, because if I asserted them and kept them really firm and perhaps patrolled them like a military force or something like that, it might upset other people. And if other people are upset, then that would upset me, and it would throw my equilibrium off. So that's what I'm wanting to say at the moment, but I would love to hear what everybody else has to say about boundaries, and I love to hear Sanji's questions. All the questions he's written down. That fascinates me, but it's really interesting, because I don't think of Sanji as being somebody who doesn't have boundaries, but as he said, he's lived a lot of his life as a monk, and he has been really, I guess that's about serving others, and it's about putting other people's needs first. So yeah, it hasn't been about asserting his own boundaries. So he's really learning, but we're all learning all the time. Okay, I'll hand it over to Rae now. I'll love to hear what she's got to say about boundaries and what everybody else has to say. So over to you, Rae.
So there are a lot of different subheadings under boundaries, because I put some notes down here about there are boundaries within friendships, there are boundaries within your work. So as a nurse, we had a code of conduct. So there were certain things you couldn't do, but you also had to change your personal boundaries to fit in with cranky patients, like cranky staff that you work with as well, because you had to get through a whole shift with them and then turn up. Sometimes, you know, the next day you're back on with a crew that you didn't particularly gel with. And it was always heaven when we worked with people that we really liked. It was, you could get through anything with colleagues that you love. But I could talk about that all night. But I'll limit myself tonight to relationship boundaries, which have been the most difficult for me, partially because I came from a majorly functional family. My parents never, ever fought in front of us kids, never. They weren't overly romantic, but they'd hold hands a lot and they would talk a lot, and I'd be lying in bed and I could hear them talking about, what do you reckon's going on with Rae, and should we do this, and what do we do with Mark, and just beautiful. So I had no idea that there was anything else out there, really. But it also gave me very clear idea of what you do and don't do with your children. Because one thing that came across very strongly is that they loved and respected their children. We were the most important thing in life, and they were super consistent. My mum was a school teacher, so she dealt with kids all day. She loved kids, and the bugger had oh no, she's gone now, a photographic memory. So if she said, you did this, so I'm going to take your favorite toy off you, she didn't ever forget. You know, if we were naughty out at shopping and she said, this is what's going to happen to you, it blinky well happened when we got home. So major consistent. So that's how I was brought up. But no parents are perfect. So when I was a bit of a rebellious teenager, they said a couple of things to me that just went into my psyche. They used to tell me I was selfish. So my interpretation with an immature brain was, I thought too much of myself, and I needed to not be selfish. And a few times they said, oh, I pity the poor bloke that marries you, right? So that just, I'm sure they said other things, but those are the two things that stuck. So there I am out there trying to find a relationship, thinking that I'm, like I said last week, that I was fat and ugly, because we all did. All of us girls thought we were unattractive, and well, most of us. Yeah, so with boyfriends, I certainly let them get away with more than I should have, because I just didn't know what to do, and I kept thinking I'm selfish, so I needed to give more. And then I ended up getting married, and I was 30 something. But with my first marriage, I didn't have to set boundaries. Well, I did, but we didn't have to had any discussions, because he ran off with the cleaning lady after we got married. We were married for 3 months. It was just awful. Yeah, Connie was there. Thank God. I wouldn't have got through that without Connie. And a couple of my other friend Louise. So that was terrible. But so that was a big boundary that he crossed. But that was a not negotiable boundary. He thought that I would just sit at home and wait for him, because that's what his mother had done, even though we discussed this, or because we'd been together for like 10 years. He was my best friend in the world, which is why I married him. And we always said how awful his father treated his mother, and that he would never do that, and da-di-da. And the minute we got married, he just became his father. I was absolutely gobsmacked. Yeah, so that boundary was very clear for me. And I said, that's it. It's over. Pack your stuff. Get out. That was the end of it. And then when I got married the second time, a bit wiser, and I understood that once someone thought they had you, and for the first one it was the marriage, once they thought you were theirs, like you weren't the girlfriend that was going to dump them, their true colors would come out. So with the second one, he'd come from a very violent childhood, terrible. His father used to lock him and his brother in the bathroom and just belt them until they were bleeding, and it was just horrific. So no discipline for weeks and weeks, and then when they were out of control, he'd belt the crap out of them. So was terrible, and his mum was just loved children and was far too soft. So we talked for years about that, and we got married, and I thought, oh God, here we go. And he was fine. He was like the perfect husband. He would cook, clean. He cleaned the lint out of the dryer. That's how good of a house husband he was. And he already had 2 kids, and they were beautiful children and well behaved. And it wasn't until I got pregnant. So I got pregnant with Loris, and then he thought he had me, and then the true colours came out, and the domestic violence cycle started, which I picked up on immediately because I was way wise by then. And the first domestic violence thing he ever did was he said to me, the way you use a credit card is stupid. I'm the queen of how to use a credit card. And that was a red light for me. I thought, oh no, I couldn't believe it. And then sure enough, that it just got worse and worse. And now here I am pregnant with my first biological child. I've got these 2 other kids that I knew if I left him, I would lose them. There's no way he'd let me keep them. Hey, it was awful. Yeah, so, oh gosh, it was just terrible. So I stayed 3 years longer than I wanted to in that relationship, being full aware that my boundaries were getting crossed every day, but it was just awful. And there weren't any real red flags to start with. Yeah, that was yuck. All right, so what did I learn from that? There's just a couple of things I'll just say. Yeah, the parent bit was important, that I had that in my mind. Yeah, I think I stayed until the middle child could read. I made sure he could read, and then I left. And plus Loris, my beautiful son, was 3, and I knew that whatever he learnt at 3 would set him up for what sort of a man he was going to be. So I couldn't stay any longer. Yeah, so I had to go. So that was, yuck. And the only other quick note on relationships is family relationships with my parents, who are now cranky and older, and dad's 88 and cranky, and mum's 86 and very unwell, and the photographic memory's gone, but she nags because she can't remember that she's told you, can you please do that for me? And then 2 minutes later, can you please do that? And it drives you bananas. So they push the boundaries a bit. But I have a new car, and the new car's name is Silver. And when they start to just be painful, I go, hi, Silver, away, and I leave. I just get in the car and go. And then they ring me up. Oh, we're so sorry. But yes, so that's what I do. My legs just do the talking now, because the thing that I learnt the most is to value my peace. Yeah, my peace is worth more than anything. You've got to protect it over anything. Yeah. So when dealing with other people, I'm in a photography group and a pottery group, and you're dealing with people with businesses and buying and selling cars. And the minute I'm not comfortable or I feel disrespected, my legs just walk off, and I'm like, oh, we're leaving. We're leaving, and I just go. Yeah. So very interesting. Big lessons. Right, I'll hand it over to Georgie and see what she's got to say.
Yes, well, Rae, I can agree with you on everything. I have come a long way on boundaries. I think I used to do a few through my life without turning the recording off. I've had from family, from friendships, from relationships, with boundaries that I didn't have. I couldn't do, well, I didn't do. So what I have learnt from all this is that you have to respect yourself first. Don't accept being treated with disrespect, manipulation, or dishonesty. Healthy relationships require mutual respect. And you got to communicate I suppose in every relationship. And I think what that is, when you get people around you that do respect you and that you respect them, it comes quite easy to see it too as well when you've got those people around you, because you can communicate. You need to communicate clearly, be honest what you need, what you're comfortable with and what you won't accept. Again, like, protect your peace is a big, protect your peace. I have trouble with that, protecting my peace. If you need to say something to someone who you haven't set a boundary with, and I just let it be, but then just let them talk about you, just let them, like, so I've learnt that, or let them fall. So don't sacrifice yourself to keep others happy. Your needs, feeling and well-being, mental health, just be as much as anyone else as saying no to healthy. No is healthy, not selfish. You got to think of that. Choose relationships based on trust and mature support. Healthy relationships are built on honesty, kindness, encouragement, and respect for each other, for each other's boundaries, not guilt, fear, or control. Controlling is a bad one. That I have had all my life with a lot of people, and people just don't like that now when you don't let them control you. Oh my God, is this Georgina? Healthy boundaries don't push good people away. They help build stronger, more respectful relationships while protecting your well-being and your peace. And especially with healthy, like, marriage or relationship, man, woman, live in, will respect your boundaries. Like, the other person will respect your boundaries without trying to pressure, control, or change you. If they truly care about you, they'll listen, communicate openly, and treat you with kindness and respect, even when there's a disagreement. I feel like they're your best mate, partner in crime, and there's always no one is perfect. Healthy relationships are based on mutual respect, honest communication, trust, support for each other's goals, feeling safe to be yourself. That's what I have never done. I've never felt safe being myself until the last year, because I'm single. A good reminder is a right relationship won't ask you to give up your values, your peace, or your self-respect to keep the relationship. And I will hand over to Connie or Michael,
Michael next.
My contribution will probably be a fairly short one, and probably takes more the form of a question rather than anything else. When you were talking, Rae and Georgie, it reminded me of a previous conversation that we'd had, and I believe you recommended The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that.
No, I
Um,
did.
and yeah, I've got the audiobook. I haven't listened to it yet, but I do have the audiobook. Um, is that a useful resource, do you think, when it comes to boundaries and relationships?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. With you can go in and have a look at the chapters and listen to certain chapters that you need. It's really helpful on every relationship. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's maybe it's something that I should listen to. I do have a copy, so yeah, thanks.
Definitely.
Heads up, Connie, over to you.
Thanks, Michael. I agree with everything everyone has said because that is true. I've never had a trouble with boundaries. I had parents who actually showed me very good boundaries and told me I was good enough. And my mantra in life is I am enough. If you don't like it, then that's your problem, not mine. I don't have to please anybody. And I think in any relationship, your clear expectations and good communication about what you will have and what you won't have, and no lies. Um, and I'm ready to walk away at a minute's notice, as Rae would know. I give you enough chances. As my ex-husband would tell you, there's enough chances. We're the best of mates now that we're divorced because there is a boundary there and he knows not to go past it. Not that he ever did, but he was his own person and I was my own person, and it just didn't work out. But basically, what everyone's doing, I think, is right. You've got to like yourself. If you don't respect yourself, you will let everyone walk over you. And that's not on. And I did learn that in nursing, where you had to stand up to bullies. And what I used to say to them was, you're talking very loudly. You need to keep it down. It just shut them up very quickly. So don't be afraid to speak up, basically, because bullies don't like you talking back to them. And it's your boundaries that they'll respect thereafter. That's it.
You just did it immediately.
Yes.
You just
No mucking around. No mucking around.
Yeah.
You didn't step over the line. Once you did, you were finished.
And
And
you
they
still
knew.
don't.
No, absolutely not, Rae.
You know what? That's the biggest lesson there. The thing that I had to learn is that they know. So I would
Yes.
make excuses for them. Oh, Mick, who I just loved to death, just loved him so much. We were together for 3 years, and what happened? His father was killed when he was 11. So his mum brought him up, and he never took me out. He'd never asked me out to a restaurant or, or the movies or anything. And I thought he just didn't know how to do that. And we were together 3 years, and I wanted to have a baby, and he didn't have a job. And I said to him, "You've got 12 months to get your act together, or you're gone, mate, because I want a family." And 12 months later, he'd done nothing. And I said, "Time's up, pack your bag, you're out of here." And then suddenly turned up in a sports car, asked me to a fancy restaurant, came with a diamond ring, "Will you marry me?" I was so insulted. I was just horrified, the rotten toad, that he'd known all the time. Yeah, so don't make excuses for him. And the other thing that we all did wrong, because we didn't have blokes like, have you ever seen Taylor Love on Instagram? Or he just rattles off um, what a woman expects and why. If she's yelling at you, it means you have crossed her boundaries 47 times already. Don't think you're perfect. Like, he's got advice for men. He's great. We didn't have that. So the other thing that what was I going to say? Oh, it was so good. Yeah, don't tell yourself you don't. Oh, that's it. We all thought we could change our partners. We'll
Yes.
get married, and then they will become. We will teach them to be good husbands. Honestly believe that, and it's absolute crock of crap. It's not true at all. So yeah, sorry, I'll be
Yeah.
quiet.
No.
Mm.
So from the experience I had, and then the things I have learned, there was a nice example. Like it said, like be like the moon, no? So you can see the reflection of the moon if you take a bucket of water from the well, or like from the window, no? Or like it shines, but you never can touch it, right? Uh, but it's present in every place, no? So like the reflection of the moon. But in the other sense, like I would like to be like these ancient saints and all, like they said they were like the earth. The earth, like whatever you do, you dig it or anything, plant something nice, or like put some trash or like excrete or something, or like the wind, no, wind takes the nice fragrance, or like the water clears good and bad, no, or like dissolves in it, and then like the fire that burns. So that good things as well as bad things, meaning like it accepts, no, and but I think it's a very high point where like enlightened beings or saints or no like rishis or like very special people were at. But we, in a way, I feel like I or we should go there also, no, or inside of us we should be in that point, and then uh, other times like what I also do is I give people many chances, and then now I learn like for some people they have their own patterns, no? So not that I'm perfect or I know everything or not, nothing like that. And but sometimes you cannot do much beyond that. But there are instances, I don't know, like people change because of other people from addictions, no, even suicidal. So some people like turn some people around, no? So where I would like to ask you all, like, where is this care point, or in a relationship, where does this apply? You know, like we, I know, like each one of you had like very difficult experiences, no, these things like that. So do we set a boundary like dead straight and wait till they cross the line, or like are there times like we can be more flexible, and or maybe you all tried that before, no? And so and they are also humans, right? They have their own problems, issues, these kind of things. Not that we try to be psychiatrists and like trying to clear all their problems and put them back in a core and then like reconstruct them or something, no? But people are bound to change also, right? So where does this imply, and how can we like find the borderline of that, or should we move the borders uh, again and again, further and then backwards? Where does how does it relate? Like, yeah, or Connie, Ray, Georgie, Mike, anybody, yeah, or everybody.
I think you can be flexible to a degree. I will accept anyone. I respect people until they cross the line, then no more respect. They've got to show me respect, and I will help them any way I can, but I won't be used. And that's the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
set your boundaries before you have the interaction. You have a good talk to yourself and go, what will you accept, what won't you accept? And
Yeah.
then you have to back yourself. I think
Yeah.
the secret is to know that you're okay on your own. So that's the other thing when you're young, it's hard to be sure that you are fine on your own. It's easier when you're older and your hormones calm down. God, I hated those hormones, rotten bloody things. The menopause fairy is the best thing that ever happened to me. Oh. But yeah, and so you have to set your boundaries and you have to follow them, not the other person. You have to
Mm.
you have to
Yeah.
enforce them yourself. Yeah. Go, no, that's definitely crossed. I'm out of here. And yeah, the least chances you give them, the better. I'll never forget the story of you, Connie. Some guy asked you out to a desert island or something. It was the most romantic thing, or a weekend away. It was a weekend away somewhere, and you had to request your roster. It was a major problem getting those days off. And then the day before you were supposed to leave, he rang up and cancelled. And you were absolutely spewing. And then a week later, he rang you up and went, "Oh, I don't suppose you'd want to, go next weekend, would you?" You said, "I don't think so." That's all
I
you said.
yeah, he was very lucky. That's all I said to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I would just add to what the other lady said. For me, when I start feeling like when I get beyond angry and beyond caring, and I get to the point where I have no feelings, I'm like indifferent about something, that's like the boundary has been crossed, and I need to do something about it. And what else did I want to say? Just that, yeah. The other thing I wanted to say, and Ray sort of alluded to it, but perhaps not put it in so many words. But I've never been physically abused by a partner, but I have been emotionally abused. And when I no longer felt safe in the relationship, then I need to say, no, enough is enough. And I will help you, and I still love you, but I love myself more, and I need to remove myself because I no longer feel safe. So, yeah.
Hey, Anthea,
Yeah.
what's love got to do with it?
Yeah.
That's right, Ray.
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Irrelevant that you love
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
No.
So many women stay because, I love him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
I worked in a women's shelter, and we used to get that. That was the question I asked. What is love to you? And they couldn't answer it. So it was interesting. And they had no boundaries. So this guy would repeatedly beat them. They'd go back and they'd get beaten and come back. It was an in and out door until they had enough. I wouldn't ever let it get that way. You step over the line, I wouldn't even get to where you are, beyond angry and don't care. The first step, finish, because you don't want to get there. It's not good for your peace.
No, it's not.
No.
It takes so long to heal, Anthea, from,
Yeah.
when you get that far, when you've completely burnt out, it takes
Yeah.
so long. Like, I've been single for 17 years because I stayed 3 years longer than I should.
Yeah.
It's taken me that long to heal. So,
Yeah.
don't wait. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Get a cat. They're great.
Yeah.
They've got boundaries.
They do. They
I
just
know
nap
beautiful
off.
cats.
Where I've seen cats, leave people's houses. They just move out. They go.
Yeah.
You got a cat like that, didn't
Yeah.
you? The next door neighbour was bad to
Yeah.
them, or they didn't like
Yeah.
the vibe, and it went and
Yeah.
moved in
He
with
just
you.
left. Yeah, knocked on my door and said, "I'm moving in, lady."
Go.
So,
Be a cat is our advice.
Yeah. Be a cat. Be
If
totally selfish.
if a cat won't put up with it, then neither should you.
Absolutely right, Ray.
There you go, Sanji. You have to think of yourself as a cat. What
I
does
like
your
cats.
culture think about cats, Sanji?
About
Does your
cats?
culture love cats like ours does?
Yeah, many people. And then home we had like a huge amount, no?
Oh, really?
Yeah, cats, dogs, all sorts of pets.
Okay.
We also like there's a whole bunch, and I pet them along. They try to compost. Yeah, some all cats of some house, no? There are some very cute ones.
Yes.
So I have another question. So is it like a military base, like you lay the landmines and all this stuff, and then there are some boards, no, like a first board, first barrier, second barrier, third barrier, boom. No, is it like that?
Boom.
And then
Like,
now, yeah,
But you
but
tell
it's
the
only
other
got,
person like they give it a few chances, right? Not that they just come and crash into the bunker of landmines, right? Or area like laid with landmines, no?
They'll test you. They'll always do a small test first. So yeah, just a little push to see what you'll do. So straight away you've got to say, I don't like that. And then you let it go and see if they then have a stronger push. And if they do it twice, they're gone. That's the second landmine. They're out of here. I'm not wasting any more landmines on him. They cost too much.
Good on you, Rae.
Or her.
Or her, yeah.
Or
Anyone.
friendships. Yeah.
We're
Well,
talking for Michael too. We
Yeah.
school with Michael as well.
Yeah. Or
listen and
her.
learn, Michael.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And some people have these expectancies, or like some people are kind of like in a delusional state, right?
Mhm.
And then they have all this, maybe they have this imaginary thing they have, and then how does that work? Like, how do a person know like they are like superficial or imaginary or like not realistic, and then they set all these boundaries, and then maybe some good people. Oh, what about trauma? Like some people go to trauma, and then say some good guy comes, just I'm telling, like a good person comes, and this person is so beaten up, means like mentally, the perception that comes is that old one, right? And then they have trust issues and all this stuff, no? And then even if a good guy
Yeah.
comes, for guys it says, no, like good guys last or something, no? Like they have to like take all and be a psychiatrist and like cure, and in a way like that also happens, right? The opposite also, yeah? Like some guys do crazy things all their life and then or come through a lot of chaos, and then the lady picks them up and like fix them up, no? So I'm asking like two questions here. The delusional stage or unrealistic stage, how does that apply? And how do we know that it's realistic and like humane? And the other thing, like if somebody's with trauma and all these wounds and all, and they see the other person who's coming to care as a threat, maybe, or in the same perception as they had, like many times, from childhood, or like they see their mother or father, or some abuse or some trauma they carry, or bad relationships they had. It can be totally innocent. I agree with that. So how do you see these two questions?
With delusional people, you stand by them until you feel your peace is being threatened, then you walk. Traumatic people are closed down, they're not disrespectful. So it's fine. You can stand by a traumatized person because if they're a decent person, they are respectful to you. They're just shut off. That's all. So you just give them time and allow them to see you prove yourself. You have to prove yourself to a traumatized person, and that takes time. So you just be there and yeah, it's fine. You can hang out with a traumatized person as much as you want until they do something that disrespects you, then you walk. Hey, Connie.
That's right, Rae. Right on.
I've got lots of my friends are traumatized, but they treat me well. Otherwise, they'd stop being my friends. But trauma's not a boundary. That's what I think. What do you reckon, George?
I have found you try some people with trauma that don't want to
Look at it.
look at themselves. They can manipulate you, and they can be nasty and in a way that maybe because I didn't have boundaries set, but they can manipulate you in a way and you don't even realize it. And then all of a sudden you go, right, I'm not dealing with this. And I was so proud of myself. I just walked. Yeah.
Good on
And
you.
said, because there was no way that they were going to look at themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what come up with me, was saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. And just adding to that, like People can be, you know, we're all damaged, we're all traumatized, we all carry our own baggage. But if people aren't willing to do the work on themselves and they're not willing to take personal responsibility, then I don't think it's our role to rescue anybody or to save anybody. And I've fallen into that one.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, fallen into that
Me too.
one probably
Mm,
more than a couple of times, thinking that I can save somebody and I can't. It's up to God to save them, or it's up to them to save them, but it's not up to me.
mm.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a big trap.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear a little bit more from Michael and Sanji, because I feel like it's been a very
Girls' night.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I would love to just allow a bit of space for Sanji and Michael to speak if they wish to. If they don't wish to, if they're happy to listen, that's fine as well.
Uh, I'm I don't have a lot to add. Um, I'm more just reflecting on what you're all saying. Um, I know that in my experience, we've all had experiences of this. I can find it difficult to set those healthy boundaries and then stick to them. Because sometimes I will say that I'm going to set a healthy boundary, and I might say no the first time, but if the person is persistent, um, at least going on past experiences, there have been instances where I've said, "Oh, okay." Um, so, um, I'm more just taking in, yeah, what's being said. And Sanji, I don't know about you. I know you've got questions yourself.
So thank you, Mike. So yeah, for myself, I just feel like there are all different types of relationships, no, like from parent to child, no, siblings, so like relations, no, and then colleagues or schoolmates. So it varies from maybe a client, or the therapist, or like the coach and the client, or the student, or the teacher. So there are difference, and you have to set some things for that. But when it gets more and more closer, so the family and these things, then all those boundaries seem to collapse, no? And then it drives you crazy, and you don't know like what to do. And if it's coming more and more close, like it's like a truck coming and just breaking all the barriers and going down. You're like, oh my God, like what am I to do? No, like because you are not prepared for that, right? And then different stages of our life, when we were kids, we interacted with our parents differently. Now it seems like we are the parents and they are the kids, and then we have to switch roles, and then like, oh my God, like now I look like the parent and they look like the kid, no? So then where's the boundary issue, no? Then and then with the past things that went and all these things, and uh, the things that happen to you, you think you need, but then like Mike said, like, oh my gosh, I give this person another chance, no? And then it sometimes happens again. Oh, I knew it. Then you like feel like knocking your head, no, but still you wanted to do it, no, uh, and then sometimes like this person just want to take use out of you. There's a guy like I helped their family a couple of times, and now he translated this book in English, and then like he sent me like a message like I'm going through like some weird message he sent me, like his son had got a germ in the brain. I helped him out there, but after he gets the money, he just disappears. But he helps he's like a hard worker. But I know he's just contacting me for the money, you know. So anyways, like I helped him many times. I bought the kid milk powder, like milk and all these things. Every time I used to get there in the ecological place. So I know, and then somehow other, because his texting is horrible. Like he doesn't write in the local language, and he doesn't write in English also. But somehow other he gathered up with his Peter and asked somebody else. So it was a weird message, like I'm through economic difficulties. I put my salutation to you. I don't know, maybe use translating app or something, and it didn't. But I thought, okay, I did what I could, no, and I cannot keep laugh like that, no, man. Because it seems like it's like a sinkhole, no, like it's very deep, no, and I have my things also to do, right? So and there are so many other people also to help, no, and you don't know how much you can do, and you wish to help, but how far can you do, right? So there are some natural boundaries also because of inability also that comes up, no? And I also had a big problem with saying no for a very long time. Yeah, that was a hard part. So, and then some monks and all, they thought like, what is with him? No, because I was more excited and cheered up, and I was like, Paul, and did you get that? And did you do this? And like I was like really, it was like too much in a way. Yeah. Then like when their response was poor or like there was no feedback, I would feel very bad, no? Like because I was so hyped up in it, no? And then like through experience or like that, I had to like back down a little bit. So and then and your karma and all these things also come. You try to help people, it has a backlash sometimes, and then you learn it the very hard way. But still, that instinct is still there. No, like you have to do something or help them. No, if you see something broken, you have to fix it. No, so those are like not just like the personal stuff, but in a way, it's good and you feel happy about it. But it comes at a price. But still, you keep on want not that you're doing bad stuff, right? These are good things, right? But but in a way, I feel like the mind is charged up and you feel happy and even peaceful, no? And you know, like the society and these things are like that and how it is. So I think it's an evolving process. It keeps evolving. And at some point, like we will be like these saints and wonderful people who roam the world, no? Or planes. So we will come there. Until then, just to live for the sake of living, like we will need this kind of like offense, like we said last time, no, but it should be reasonable, it should be like ethical, no, and understand things like understanding. A lot of things are also involved, and and yeah, but still we should not let people walk all over us, and yeah. So it's a learning process, I believe, but we said some things, and it depends on different people we associate. But it's always good to give people chances. Not that we are high and mighty something, right? So, oh, you're Jones number one. No, not like that, right? Number two, three, gone. No. So, yeah, no, it's difficult, but it's difficult, right? So, yeah, please, Ray.
Sanji, think of it as a teaching thing. If you let people bend your boundaries, you're not allowing them to learn. So by you setting boundaries, it gives them the opportunity to learn how to respect other people. That's how I see it. You're not harming them by saying no. You're actually allowing them to learn. The only time I ever bend the boundaries is when I'm dealing with someone that's not of sound mind, like a little child, or parents with dementia, or a young man with a head injury. That's the only time I that's okay, it's different. You make allowances for that because their mind is just not working, functioning as it should. And little children can't regulate their emotions and not throw a tantrum just because you said not to stop. Yeah. So that's what I think. Connie, tell Sanji this what you did to your sister. So this is a lesson about family. You know, we make too many allowances for family. What did you do to your sister, Connie? Do you remember?
Yeah,
you
she
do.
was way over the top and very disrespectful and just being a smart ass all the time. So basically I said, that's enough. When you can learn to speak to me in a respectful manner, we will talk. It took her 11 years. But we are good friends now because she's learnt the lesson, like you said, Rae. And that's family. That's family. She got a yeah, I gave her some slack. Not family, no slack, basically.
Yeah. A little bit softer with family, but you still have to same
Yeah,
lessons
same.
applied.
Yeah.
I've had to sit my brother down a few times as well. Yeah. He got really angry with me because my mum got really sick and I didn't do anything. I didn't force her to go to hospital or something. And he got really angry with me. And I said, righto, where did I agree to take over their health? I haven't agreed to do that. And I won't do it unless that's a discussed thing. Yeah. So, and he was very reasonable. So we just had a rational discussion, but they were ready to never speak to me again because my mother refused to do anything I advised her to do and just fell in a heap, got so bad because she won't go to hospital unless she's nearly dead. But so it's easy with my brother because I know he's reasonable. He's not going to like other people's brothers can be abusive or violent, which makes it really difficult. But my brother's rational, so I just stand up. Plus, he's my little brother, so that helps. That's the other thing in families is the dynamic, like what you had when you were a kid, whether you were the eldest and or dad's favorite or whatever. That seems to they try and drag that into your adult life as well. It's like, what? I'm not 12 anymore. Yeah, so you have to do a bit of adjustment with them as well. And Georgie's learnt that really well. You change who you are and then they have to treat you differently.
But I've found other than family, like friends, that you thought they were friends, I think, and manipulators and controlling people and that, or they're going to fight with you for the next 10 years. I would I don't know, I tend to wipe them because I want to protect my inner peace. Like, I'm done. I can't even pick up the phone, text them, ring them or nothing. I'm done.
Save your energy, Sanji, for the people that want your help.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yes.
All right. Well, we've discussed this for quite a long time and it's been a fascinating discussion. So do we want to continue it in another session? Do we feel like there's more to be discussed or do we feel like we've pretty much said what we needed to say and express about it?
We could do a whole another hour and a half on bullies. That's fascinating.
An interesting topic. Yeah, that would be very interesting. So it's following on from boundaries, but it's slightly different.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great. Poor Michael and Sanji, I feel like we've frightened them tonight.
No, you're fine.
I think they learned a lot. They learned a lot.
We set some boundaries today, no, Mike. Connie, it was a great pleasure having you. Please join any time possible. Huh?
Thank you very much, Sanji. I will. I think tonight's discussion was very helpful for people to get out why you let people walk over you and how hard it is to stop them walking into your space and wrecking your peace. And once you can say that without feeling bad, keep them away or just wipe them out, then you're a winner. You're virtually invincible because no one can make you do what they want you to. You do exactly what you want to, and people in your life know where your boundaries are, and the communication is really clear.
Yes. It's very hard to get to that point when it's implanted you for life. But
Yes.
if you can do that, I'm getting there.
Good on you. And I mean,
Mm.
you've got to do it. No one else can do it
No.
for you. And you will be so happy once you get there. There'll be bumps along the way where you'll just slip back a little bit, but just remember the talks that we had, because these people don't care about you, right? They'll use you up and spit you out. You've got to care about you.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, you haven't got much of a chance in this world.
No.
Mm.
All right. Did anybody else have any parting comments or final comments before we close the discussion? No. All right. Thanks, everybody, for your time and energy and insights and personal experience and being quite vulnerable. It's really appreciated, and I know that it helps a lot of people. It certainly helps me, and I have no doubt that it helps everybody who watches our video, and I'm sure that it is thought-provoking for all of our co-hosts. So until next week or the next time that we meet, bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
And
Have,
the things.
Thank you
have a
all.
good rest and a good night to you all.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Lovely to meet you, Connie.
Yeah.
And you.
Thanks.
And you.
Yeah.
Bye,
Thank you,
Michael,
Connie.
Anthea,
And everybody.
Sanji, Rae.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody.